Big question on the minds of people right now is the candidates tournament happening? And it would be wonderful to know, with the war situation that's currently happening in the world, could you tell us what is the situation of the candidates tournament?
Hi, Sagar. Yes, the plans haven't changed. We are working in the final stages of preparing the candidates, which are supposed to start within basically in 2 weeks' time, right now, in 2 weeks' time. Obviously, we monitor the situation, and Cyprus is not too far from the, let's say, war zone or conflict zone, whatever you call it. At the same time, it's not directly involved in any ways, and it is not in a state of war. There is no emergency situation or something. Of course, there was some alarming news like 10 days ago or something
Yes.
like that. But since then, the situation seems to be rather quiet. But we are not just, relying on, okay, let's assume nothing will happen. We obviously monitor, and we are in touch also with governmental structures who are helping us with anything related to the tournament. As I mentioned previously, the event is not just just some chess event in Cyprus. The government knows very well about the status of the event, about the importance of it. The president of the country is scheduled to open the event himself on March 28th. We plan for scenarios, no matter how unlikely they are, but it is our firm belief that current situation does not provide any grounds or any reasonable reasons to actually postpone or to remove the event from Cyprus.
You mentioned about you're taking all the measures, even about unforeseen situations and so on. Could you tell us a bit about, like, the things that have happened in the last few days? I'm pretty sure there would be a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, and a lot of preparations. If just maybe yes, an insight into what goes around, because there's so much uncertainty, right, around so many things.
Well, the major uncertainty was and is about some flights which are coming from Middle East, and let's say Chinese and Indian players. They are impacted in one way or another because most of them flew via some hubs like Dubai or Doha, which currently is unclear whether they would continue, but there are other ways. I mean, there is flights from basically every European destination, and players can fly to London or to fly to Vienna or to Frankfurt, and from them to continue to Cyprus with a direct flight. That's one thing. Of course, FIDE offered its help, and of course, we cover all the expenses related to that. These are main uncertainties, but they are easy to tackle, and they impact only, let's say, 5 or 6 players. Uh, but also, it is not something that immediately impacts the event itself. It's only about the logistics of arrival. I have to say that it's not only players we are taking into account, because there will be a lot of people there in Cyprus around the event, working at the event, setting up the event. So it's not only that we care about 16 people and we don't care what's going on with us.
Yeah.
So we obviously do some planning, but the larger part goes around the logistics of the venue in any foreseen circumstances. But again, it's not, let's not overblow the situation. I think in today's world, it's very often the case that any minor problem or minor, let's say, the situation with a minor probability causes a lot of speculations. My experience suggests that almost any country, and many of them are good chess countries, where you have many events, have their issues which may be not in the news but much more problematic for players when they are. It could do with so many various things. It could be with the food, or with the lodging, or with the crime activity in the city where the event takes place. And people do not talk about it, but actually the likelihood of players to be in some sort of unpleasant situation due to this fact is higher than some sort of unforeseen scenario. But it's like, when you fly the plane, it's like that. You have one in a million situations that something happens, but of course you are much more worried than you are just driving a car. Also there is the likelihood of something happening is higher. So it's because that it gets to the news and people are obviously irritated to hear and to understand what happens. Maybe Turkey sends the jets, European Union sends the warships, but actually the fact that there are, let's say, some sort of weaponry around protecting Cyprus is just adding an extra layer for players. But anyways, there is no reason to believe that there is any significant or meaningful danger. Otherwise, we wouldn't stick to our decision. Said that, the event is still 2 weeks from us, and we are obviously monitoring it every day. I mean, we do not pretend to be, totally convinced that nothing can change and it can't get more dangerous. Maybe it could, but at the moment, we don't see anything even remotely dangerous enough to think about rescheduling the event.
And all the players, there are 16 of them. I'm pretty sure that they've put in so much of effort and time, and so they would be having, like, for them the direct contact is FIDE, and so many of them would have written to you or to FIDE to get clarification of this. And has there been anything that for them has been worrying and that has not been kind of resolved, or all the players are fine and all 16 of them are coming?
We've got several inquiries. It's true, and I personally spoke to a couple of players. This is more of a general concern rather than, let's say, something very concrete. The concrete cases were related to the flights, and then we mitigated it. In general, I would understand. I understand players, and I would understand anyone who would be concerned in this place. In particular, if they are not in the region and they do not have to know all the nuances, whether Cyprus is going to be involved somehow, how close it is, and so on. So all these questions are very legitimate. Our role here is not to mislead people, and at the same time not to virtue signal and say we will now save all the chess community and remove it and so on. I think we are quite capable of reviewing the real situation, how it is. And again, the very fact that we are in contact with the government in Cyprus allows us to know a bit more and to feel how the situation is, and to know if there are some steps which Cyprus undertakes, like extra steps undertakes in general for the general public, and then to do accordingly. Once again, nothing is set in stone ever, but we do not foresee any major changes, but we do not just sleep on it and say, okay, no matter what, we'll start, and we don't care. Of course we care, and it's of course a priority for us. And of course we keep informing players, we keep answering all the inquiries. Actually, one thing, general thing, which I want to say, we're quite proud that every day we get a lot of inquiries from many stakeholders about every issue in the chess world. And our team is quite good at addressing them. Of course, we cannot be, claims that we have 100% rate of returned response to every inquiry. But from any official stakeholder or major stakeholder or a player or a federation or a significant club or organizer, we always are responding, and it's never a formal response, but but rather informative, and we are open to everybody knows that they can ask FIDE what's happening and get an answer. And the answer is simple. We own it. We are monitoring it, but at the same time, there are no plans to shift. And we really believe that the situation does not dictate any, let's say, force majeure action at this point.
Amazing. And do you think like what happened in the 2020-21 candidates uh, has some lessons for FIDE from there, because it was such a pressure situation back then. And I guess doing the tournament, then calling it off halfway, right? Like at that point, and then doing it second half. Do you see something on those lines happening? I mean, it's not like that would happen, but the learnings from that event, are they being kind of useful at this point, or?
We are living in a rather challenging environment, right? So 2021, it was about COVID. And I can remind you also that in the same 2021, there was a Grand Swiss in Riga,
Yes, I
which
remember.
many claims that how FIDE, how can I organize, where's the mask, and so on. And we actually evaluated the situation properly, and we have conducted one of the most successful events in a close cooperation with the government again, because that's what requires in such a situation. So the same thing here. The world is too complex and too challenging to just pretend that we know all the answers. But what's important, and we have been, I think, pretty good at that, to be flexible and to review what the current situation is, because you can be 100% sure that you are right, and the next day or in 2 days the situation may change and you must take a decision. So what I'm pretty proud about, that we have always been quite adaptive to the situation, because when situation requires, we take an action. But again, yes, 2020 candidates, the COVID thing, it was it was a very difficult situation. Here, I think you can't really compare, because Cyprus is not a it's not a pandemic, and Cyprus is not a part of the conflict. So I very much hope that it will remain like that, and we all will just stick to enjoying players, enjoying the commentary, enjoying the multitude of stars who are coming there to make the event more exciting, and to also to interact with public, because once again we have a part of the players, a part of the official commentary team. We have done a lot of work to make the event itself exciting and attractive.
Amazing, amazing. And finally, I want to ask you, as the person who's kind of been driving this project for now months, what is it that people can look forward to from this candidates? Is there something that's coming forth? We already saw the commentary panel of FIDE, very interesting. Jan Gustafsson and Peter Swidler. But apart from that, is there anything that you can share that's going to happen in Cyprus? Because I personally think people are very excited for this event. Like the candidates, everyone's talking about it all the time. People are like, who will win? Will it be Fabi? Will it be Hikaru? Oh, maybe Prag will take it. Sindarov. So many interesting. Anish might get the this time. So just for all the viewers out there.
I think it's every candidate is exciting, even if there were only games and that's it, right? Because the competitions themselves, so much is at stake, and winning candidates, as we all know, is even more difficult than winning the World Championship match, because you just have to beat everyone and to score not +1 but to score +4 probably. So this is one thing, but a part of that, of course, we did a lot to prepare it in the best possible way. The commentatory team was with Peter Swiller and Jan Gustafsson is there. Vichy gonna be throughout the event there as a guest star. He will be a guest star during the commentary, but also in a fan zone and VIP zone. We bring more legends for the event. Boris Gelfand coming for several days, also to share his experience, his knowledge, his wisdom and to interact with younger players and also with guests. We have Alexander Kostyanyuk being there also for quite a bit of time. We bring a surprise guest, which we will not announce yet, but towards the end of the tournament, and that will be also something exciting. We will have two lectures, one dedicated to chess and math, and another chess and engines, chess and AI, delivered by a renowned professor for these topics, and he's coming there to do it for in the fan zone. So the fan zone would be exciting. We of course have people working in the fan zone to create some trivia, like similar to what it was in Singapore, if you remember, some trivia, some competitions,
This is
commenting
also
on.
like Canada, yes, the
Yeah,
2025
in
Canadian
Toronto as
Open.
well. Right. So the idea is that players, some of the players, after every round would come to the fan zone to interact with spectators, to sign autographs, to take photos, to tell a bit about the games. Not all of the players, not after every game, but let's say, we typically try not to have too much attention from the people who lost their games or who drew a very long game, but otherwise we would have two, three guests in a fan zone every playing day. We bring a long string of historical archive to there to showcase the candidates from 1950 to all the today's. So some old photos, some memorabilia, some nice way to showcase the history of chess and to basically stress this importance and heritage of the candidates. We plan to have a hand and brain tournament with VIPs being there, teamed up with top players. We expect actually several VVIPs at the event, as I told you, as a president and more. And I think it would be quite an exciting thing for all the spectators. And we of course have to do a lot of work preparing for that. For example, one thing which we have been spending a lot of resources and a lot of time is updating our fair play policies. We have new equipment we purchased towards this year's big events. So it's new and it's as all the technologies advance, also the protective equipment has to improve. So we bring new ones, and this will be already enforced in Cyprus, and then we're going to use them, of course, in Olympiad and then in World Championship match. So this is important. We also expect that players would be in a good mood because the resort is special. It has a lot of space, so you can basically in a free day or something, and we're prepared to do a special 3 days. You can go one place to see or even to participate in. I don't know how pressing the olive tree to get oil, for example. It really grows there. Another day we'll have a competition because we have the tennis courts, we have a football pitches, we have the golf course there. So it's quite exciting there, and it could create a lot of nice atmosphere and interaction between players and fans and so on. We also expect to have huge screens or at several places where spectators could, let's say, they could dine at the adjacent hotel or adjacent restaurant and watch the game with a huge screens and then to discuss loudly what's happening at the event. We also bring a lot of kids to participate separately. Of course, the best kids, let's say, from Cyprus, who would be taught by Boris or by Vichy and Kostyanyuk and more, but also the kids who are just kids who play chess, who club players, who are not exactly stars, but they love the game. And there will be a kids competition from kids coming from Limassol, from Paphos, from Nicosia, from various cities to have this competition. We prepared several notices in terms of broadcast to make the broadcast more informative, more interactive with the stats about the players, not only how they did between themselves, but how do they do in the particular opening, in the particular line, how do they do with black or white, and so on. So we do prepare something that would be different, in a way different from what it was, because it would be just richer in content and richer in a ways that people could interact with players or guest stars. Once again, it doesn't make chess to look like football, right? I mean, you still have obvious challenges, because chess first and foremost is chess. But we always try to, to have this ideal balance between chess being a sport, chess being a tradition, chess being a heritage, but also chess being exciting for newer generation, for wider public. So we constantly think about it, and I hope very much that Cyprus would be a success. And well, I even don't doubt that Cyprus would be a success in this regards.
Well, it's amazing. And Emil, thank you for your time, for clarifying about the important questions that are on the minds of many who want to follow the tournament and also visit the tournament, or be there. So that was important, and also for letting us know of all the interesting things that will surround the candidates. I think it'll be a very, very exciting next 2 weeks. It'll start 28th of March. So thank you so much for putting it together.
Thank you, Sagar, and looking forward to greet you in Cyprus and maybe to talk more.
Yes.
And of course, I'm always open to your inquiries and ready to share.
Thank you so much, Emil.